says that I went by the field of a lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And behold, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles were covering its face, and its stone wall was broken down. Microphone in. Then I beheld and considered it well. I looked and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall your poverty come as a robber, and your want as an armed man. But I know we also have other translations. Can we hear another translation? But work microphone, so that we can hear other translations. If you have another translation, raise your hand. Madam Elder Favor has. Is it on?
It's on. I walked by the field of a lazy person, the vineyard of one with no common sense. I saw that it was overgrown with nettles, and it was covered with weeds, and its walls were broken down. Then as I looked, I thought about it. I learned this lesson. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will come bounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. New Living Translation. NIV says, I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds. The stone wall was in ruins. I applied my heart to what I observed. I learned a lesson from what I saw. A little slumber, a little sleep, a little folding of hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man.
One day I passed by the field of a lazy man, and I noticed the vineyards of a slacker. I observed nothing but thorns, weeds, and broken down walls. So I considered their lack of wisdom. I pondered the lessons I could learn from this. Professional work habits prevent poverty from becoming your permanent business partner. And if you put off until tomorrow the work you could do today, tomorrow never seems to come. Tomorrow never seems to do what? To come. So he's talking about working. People can tell, people can describe you, or people can tell who you are by the things you own, things that belong to you. People can tell this person is lacking understanding. I think the writer here feared to use the word foolish. People can conclude that you are lazy by the work, by your environment, by the things that are around you. Not by you. Because it looks like this man was this man present at his garden? Someone says, oh yes. Was he there? Yeah, someone says the man was busy sleeping. This guy walked by and he said, he doesn't say, I found a lazy man at his garden. No. He says, I passed by. One day I passed by a field of a lazy man. One day I passed by a field of a lazy man. Bomba and your friend, Yemuzale. Bomba and Muzale, you have received your last warning. I might take you to another place. So he says, one day I was walking and I happened to find. Now, where did this man get the field from? Being this lazy. And he says, I noticed the vineyards, which means there were some vines. Who planted them for him? This congregation is mainly full of young people this morning. Many of you, you are staying in your father's house, your parents. That means they have built the house. They have even bought the bed you are sleeping in. They have even bought the bed sheets. Even the clothes you are wearing. You don't have a receipt. It's your parents who bought. And just cleaning and just arranging. You fold your mouth. You didn't pay for anything, but just keeping it organized and properly taken care of. You complain. You didn't buy the food. You didn't buy the fire, the cooking oil, the saucepans. You didn't even cook. But after eating, now washing the plate is a problem. My hand. After you have even eaten and you are satisfied. Lazy people who lack understanding. They go to a school, they find batekamo ndabirwamu, bagula entebe, noja, as if your job description waganti, we are enrolling you in this school to break all the desks, to break the glass, to go and make the walls dirty. You didn't even paint. Then after you have disorganized everything, you come out and you say, I am important. Njagala bandabewo. That school, I don't want to go back to that school. The teachers in that school, did you have wisdom? Did you behave with understanding while you were? Now, our biggest problem, even in business, is poor management. Do you know why Africa is poor? Get a phone like this and give it to an Indian or a Muzungu and let them hold it for 1 year. You collect it and give it to an African, and they also hold it for 1 year, and you collect it. Ojja kulaba enjawulo. Big difference. Ey'omuzungu, it will be as good as new. Yensonga lwaki mugenda mu katale ne mugula engoye z'abazungu ze bayambala emyaka 4 nga gwe okyali willing to pay for it and buy it. Naye ng'oli yalukozesa n'alukoowa, they are tired of it. What does that speak of us? When we go and buy. Now, I'm not condemning. Now, I'm just trying to talk about ethics here. If somebody can have something and can use it and still put it aside when it is still useful and usable, gwe ne bakikuwa and in 2 months it is distorted, everything is poor. Now, the Bible has said when you are a poor manager, poverty is going to be your partner. Why? You keep buying the same. Tetufa ku bintu byaffe. Yes, they are thieves. Omubbi ajja tomanyi. Naye why do kakati you on the 4th phone bakakubako essimu yakuna. You can't even pick a lesson. Bakakubako essimu yakumeka? Naye tolina kyoyigamu. You have bought a 4th phone, that is money. Ne bw'obanga nti nze nzigula essimu zange $200, kale $200 times 4. Which means at that rate, ebintu byokka by'osobola is poor quality. Kuba ne bakibba, you don't lose much. That's why we prefer poor quality things. And that's why we mistreat things. Buli kintu kyonna kye tukwatako, we lower the value to make it a poor quality. It is not only here, it is a big thing. You go to these conferences, African leaders. Nze nabeerako n'abazungu. Omuzungu bamuwaneka disposable cup, kabeere gundi eyo bwetyo. Nga bali awantu, agiwandikako n'erinnya lye. Eboto ng'eyo ey'amazzi, agiwandikako erinnya lye. So that if you find it anywhere, you know nti gundi yagitadde awo, ya gundi, it speaks. Naye abantu bagenda ku mikolo, n'aggyayo amazzi eccupa, n'anywako, n'agiteeka awo, n'ayogera. Oba amazzi gange galiwa? Sigalaba kangene nfuna amalala. Gali teyagamaze emwanyoddeko kitundu, n'aleka awo, emmere n'asaavinga, jobere lyamugoba. N'atuuka wali n'alyako, n'alekawo. And for us we think, okulekako emmere, if I were your parent, mwe n'abavubuka mwe nandikutte kibooko, ne mbakubanga kibooko. Okulekako emmere is a sign of lack of wisdom. Eat and finish your food. Bw'oba wagyewadde nga nnyingi, girye paka lw'onooyiga mu bwongo bwo nti seetaaga kuloodinga mmere nnyingi ku sowaani yange. Lekankubuli, one of the things that disturbs me at my home, okusanga bucket ya leftovers nga mulimu emmere gye baayiye. I'm like, kale mwandi gimpadde n'enjirya. I was told it's true story. Omuzungu yatwala abavubuka mu hoteri n'abagulira emmere, self service, bino ebya buffet, ne batuula ne batandika okulya. Ye n'abagamba nti nja kulya katono, no problem. Ne beesavinga ne baya. Bwe baamala okulya, genda okulaba nga baleseeko emmere, naga nti n'agenda ng'abuuza omu, emmere ng'ekulemye okumalawo. I've had enough. Etogenda girya nti give it to me. Ate gwe nange sigenda girya, give it to me. N'abasolozaako emmere bali gye baleseewo, n'atandika okugirya. N'abaga nti nze nsasula emmere eno. Kinnuma okulaba nga nze emmere gye nsasudde ate mwe mukola ki? Bible ekiyita kyekyo. Who knows a scripture for that in the Bible? Don't give your pearls. There is a pearl in this church. Yeah, Mr. Olwedo. Make sure pearl does not go to swine. Toddira birungi byo n'obiwaaki mbizzi. Kubanga ne bw'onooziwa tezimanyi birungi, zijja kubirinnyirira ate zimale zijje zirume ggwe. Naye nga oziwadde ebirungi. The education you are getting, it has given other people hope and breakthroughs. Because you were a lazy person, you lack wisdom, olukuwanga okola ki? Ng'osuula wali. You people who are going to school, Oswald. Is it O or R? Oswald. There's somebody who is paying for that knowledge which the teacher is giving you. You don't value it. You just throw the books there. Now, those of you who have your parents here, so that you can hear the message properly. Your parents are not paying for you to be a model at school. They are paying for you to be in class. Go. Meanwhile, buli corridor yona yagala oyitemu bakulabe you are happening olwokuba uniform ekunyumira. Can you imagine uniform? Everyone is wearing the same thing. Neither you think it is important okuyita buli corridor yona bakole ki? Is that why they are paying school fees for you? I passed by the garden of a lazy man. Singa tulinayo translation endala. I passed by a field. I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. This one says the person has no. How many senses do we have? Can you imagine somebody who has no? It means all their five senses are, they can't smell. Oyingira mu kisenge. And then you begin complaining, Pastor, my husband is leaving me. Naye gwe toyina nnyindo. When I come to church, people don't want to come near me. Toyina nnyindo. The person who has no, every sense is dead. N'okulaba takola ki? Talaba. Nti watudde waliwo ebikyafu oba nothing oba watambulira, they no sense. Bw'ekigambo ekigambo ekyo bakitukozesanga nga baba batuvuma, naye I think it's just a description. Someone is just trying to wake you up and say, hey, your senses are not working. Kati omuntu bwajja n'akusanga ng'emmotoka amataala tegaaka nagga nti amataala tegaaka aba akuvumye. Amataala gaba tegakola ki? Tegaaka. When somebody says, I passed by a property of someone whose senses had died. Let me tell you, some of us pray for other miracles when they are real miracles that God wants to perform to wake up some of our senses. Gwe towulira yadde, towulira. Towulira, you don't feel, no sense of taste. Taste is it all in the mouth? We can see taste in other choices, colors, shapes, different things. We can see taste. There's somebody who has no taste. Ekijja kikole ki? Bwagenda ku dduuka talina na yaga kaseebanga simu mwe mumpe esimanyi kye njagala mumpe buye esimu yonna kaseebanga evuga. You go to the market, nzize gula saati size ki yonna ize mulina gy'obompa. No taste. Oyambala size 18 ba okumende size 26. Niyo je nasanzeyo mu dduuka nze that's what I bought. The other day somebody was giving me advice. People were putting on red. Nanga, Pastor, for you to be unique, get off ne pink. I want to be unique, ne pink. I think it is more reddish. Ngenena enfuneka t-shirt aka pinki, n'akapale ka pinki, n'obugatto bwa pinki. Nzije wano nga ndi mu pinki. Moreover, Florence, fluorescent. Bajita Florence, fluorescent. Fluorescent. Thank you, OB. Fluorescent pink. I passed by, in a translation, I passed by a field of a sluggard. Past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. MC leaders, mutuyambeko. Visit. Zonal leaders, visit. Elders, visit. Yeah, visit these people. Abamu engatto banaaza zigenda kujja wano ku church. Bw'otuuka eka. You know who you are. You are who you are wherever you go. When you are lazy, it doesn't matter where you are. Bino byo complaining, God has not blessed me. One day, all my stories. Someone is doubting this one. In Kakira, an African man was working for the Indians. And the African man was saying, God is not fair. God has blessed you Indians and he has cast us Africans. That's why we are laboring to work for you, to clean the house for you, to do all these things because you. And the Indian said, no. It is not God. It is the choices that you make. The guy said no. He insisted no. And the Indian said, it is the choices that you make. He said, when we tell you to do the right things, you don't do them. Meanwhile, you think that God somehow will come out of the blue and bless you. And the African man insisted and said, no, for me, I know God is not fair with us Africans. And then one day, the Indian was going back home for holiday. And he called the African man and said, I am going home. I want you to remain in charge of my house. My bedroom is open. The key is there. If you happen to clean, but don't clean the corner where I have put a vase. It is like a basin, something. I have covered there. Never open that place. Never touch it. You can clean anywhere, but never go to that corner and don't touch that vase. Vase. Proper English. I am African English. Vase, ne vase. Some of you don't even understand it. Something eringanga jaga. Bibatekamu ebimuli. Ningo lyagivunise namuga, never touch it, never even open it. Said okay. So the man enjoyed the house. The Indi was going for 3 weeks. So 3 weeks he could switch on TV, do whatever he wants to do, and then he's like, never, these Indians. What is in that thing? Why doesn't he want me to touch that thing? Said okay. I'll continue cleaning the house, doing my work, and then he comes across that thing and he's like, what is inside? How can he allow me to be in this whole house? Even in his bedroom I can come in, but why doesn't he want me to touch that thing? So 2 weeks have gone by, and the man's heart is throbbing even harder. He's now, every thought is centered around mukagundi ako katerese mulimu ki. 2 days to the man coming back, and the African man is bothered to say, for sure, should this man come back when I don't really know what is inside that thing? 1 day to the arrival, the man was almost sweating. He went and sat in the bedroom and he's like, if I miss this opportunity, I may never know. This wind will never tell me. It is only 1 day to go. I need to know what is inside. Maybe that's his goods. Those are the things that give him money. And then 6 hours to this wind arriving, this man couldn't bear it anymore. He went to the corner and said, Echiba chibe, I am not going to be in this house in Gasimancha Amachino. Then he went and opened the thing. Wow! Who wants to know what he saw in there? Some people don't want to know. I will stop it there. Some people don't want to know what was in the verse. The ones who don't want to know are not here. All of you who came want to know. He says in this verse, he says, okay, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. All of us are Africans. We want to know what is in the verse. This translation for it says, once I passed by the property of a slacker, by the vineyard of a foolish man. You should have seen it. The entire field was overgrown with thorns. Every inch was covered with weeds. Even the stone wall was crumbling down. I took a moment to take it all in. The scene taught me a little sleep, a little rest, a few more minutes, a nice little nap, but soon poverty will be on top of you like a robber. Need will strike you down like a well-armed warrior. Foolish man. So, people want me to go back to the corner. Let me go and let's leave that corner. Let me go and we leave that corner and we continue because we want to get out of this Muindi's house. So the Muindi had left there a note. He said, I told you, he wrote, I told you not to open this verse, but I knew you would open it. And the fact that now you have opened it, it is proof to show you that your state or status is not determined by God, but by your choices. So the choice you have made to, I don't know. All of us sit and we begin to blame God. We blame government. We blame, we blame the weather. What else do we blame? Some of you blame your parents. Wanji? Yeah. Some of us blame our parents. LC1, teacher yo yankolimira, yankola bubi. Our pastor yo. You blame your neighbors. Kale singana fumbira mutomu, mukifo kya Robert. You blame your teachers, Thank you, Andy. Nay, sincerely, it is the choices that you make that determine who you are. When you choose to be tired in the morning, I think I saw somewhere, someone was displaying a picture of someone who was saying, I am tired. I was tired yesterday. I am also tired today. And I'm expecting to be tired tomorrow. That kind of attitude. But we have all kinds of excuses for being where we are. We have answers. All of us seated here, we have answers to why we are the way we are. Why are you in P6? Let me tell you, you can be 12 years and you can be in senior 6. Yeah. I've heard of some young people who have even got PhDs at the age of 20. And the guy has a PhD, 20 years old. I saw another young man, Muzungu. He was 15 years old. He was 15 years old. And he had a company and he was employing his father. And they had come together from America. They had come here to Uganda. And then the father was giving a testimony. He says, my boss is here. He bought me the ticket to come. 15 years old. And he says, I wrote a letter to him asking for leave. So that I am not going to be at work. So that I can come to Africa. But I also came with him because he's my son and he's underage. He needs someone. Can you imagine? So he says, I am coming as his father, but I'm also reporting to him as my boss. I even wrote a letter to him asking for leave through his secretary, not just to my son, through his secretary. And then he gave a testimony and says, this son of mine is actually helping me because I don't have all the money to pay for the house where I'm living. So he pays the money for the floor because they have a cleaner. And he says, because it is a flat house, I have to pay for all the money. So my son has taken all. He allows us to use the part, but he has taken all the upstairs and he pays all the money and we enjoy the house. You wake up in the morning and the best thing you can do is Sunday, he says a little sleep, a little slumber. Everyone with a tired attitude is going to end up unsuccessful. So you get rid of a tired attitude. A little excuse. Ate kakati nabadde nyambadde suuti yange. Ate nabadde nyambadde engoye zange ngenda kwebaka. Namaze okusiba enviiri. Bayibuli egamba nti omusajja yali anyagala emmere n'akakokokoko mbw'oli yamukonkona paka nanga njagala, give me the food. Lemerako. The Bible, we talked here of the law of a second mile. Don't get tired quickly. Nekati abazadde baakoowa abaana baabwe. Ebyo ebyana nze oba biri ludda wa? Simanyi oyo omwana yasuze tanaabye. Can you imagine? Parent, tired parent. Yeebuuza naye ku makya. Simanyi oyo abo abaana balidde ekyeggulo. Manyi nagenze nembeera. Parent, you are already tired. Kakati gwe, what you are raising you don't know. And the world is in trouble because of tired parents. Tired employees. They come and ask for a job, but they're already tired. They're only looking for money. They're saying, if I can get money. That's in Uganda, the biggest population of people in Uganda is tired. Kubanga we have a double rainfall season, not so. You go to Kenya now and see what is that. Somebody was telling me she was from Kenya. And says those people banange, they are hard working. They are growing vegetables mu bisawo. They are everywhere. Everything is, and Kenya is looking clean and nice. But when you come to Uganda, you are home. And in Uganda mwange siwa sawe. I need to go back and cut the grass. It is this picture where tu jane tukuba ekifaananyi ekyo ne tukireeta wano tuteekako n'ebyawandiikibwa abantu bayizoga wamma ennimiro Sulemaani gye yalaba yeeyo naye nga it is yours. Compound Sulemaani gye yalaba kyaki yaffe munange pastor alina engeri gy'azuula ebintu yatuleetedde ennimiro ya Sulemaani yennyini nnyini ng'efaana naye nga twagikubye wuwo wammwe. Can you really say you are filled with the Holy Spirit? When you are lazy, when you lack wisdom. Twegendereze. Tuyinza okubeera mu kkanisa zino nga ffe tulowooza twajjula omwoyo naye nga twajjula kintu kirala. Nga twogera ne twogera mu nnimi awo omuntu n'alowooza nti bye boogera bye naye nga the Holy Spirit is not there. Muyiyayiyayo ebirimilimi awo bimwogera kwakola kwa. Kubanga toyinza kubeera ng'oli spirit filled ng'oliko omwoyo wa Katonda and you lack and your senses are dead. Can you? Dead senses. You can't smell. your armpits zenyine zikuli okumpi, you can't smell them. You can't see, no taste. Tolaba na biwayambadde kakamabulire the other day. Madam is not here. Nandibadde musonga mu olugalo. I woke up very early in the morning. I leave my house every morning by 6. I must be out of the house. But nayambala olwo nalowooza nti I don't need the light. My wife is in the bedroom. I don't need the light. I got a t-shirt. Nenga meno t-shirt njimanyi. I put on the t-shirt. Nengenda. Ntero kuno na abaana. Nenteka nengenda nensanga muzadde asooka nampa omwana. Nengende wokubiri nemubuuza. Maybe because abazadde nabo baba bakazuukuka budde bubeera bwe buti. Nengende wokusatu wokudaawo nga ngenda nenfuluma awala neninda nako nenfuluma nenjogera n'omuzadde nentambula ne ku luguudo nenkoma eri nenkomawo ne baleta abaana nembasola nembateeka mu motoka nenvuga nenkomawo nenbateeka wano nenzija ku ssomero nembuuza ne madam, good morning, how is the morning? Nenza mu motoka nenvuga nengenda. My wife had told me come back with the soap. Nengenda ku dduuka ogule sabbuuni. Mukyala nga leero gye wasuze balayika bagobye bugobi. Nemuga, what do you mean? Naga oduseeyo olabika obadde mukyafu y'ensonga bakugobya ojja ogula esabbuuni. Ne muga maama ngula wano ebintu kiki? Naga gwe teweeraba. By the time I looked, I had dressed t-shirt nga nje mbadde ku bikukuju. Inside out. In Luganda they say zavugiddewa. You know where ndulu bwe zivuga. Ndulu bwe zivuga okwata bukwasi kyolina ne weesulako n'odduka. Nambuuza zavugiddewa. Bakugobye. Josula, it was 7 in the morning. I passed all these people. I said to the woman, thank you. I walked back to the vehicle and I drove off. And I got home and I'm like, hey, Banangi, how could I just go? Moreover, one of the parents greeted me, director. Can you imagine? Director. And those nenga muri yewunyanaga. Director, good morning. Nenga muri ne yewunyanaga director. Bwabanga yona directing ebintu ebirimu abaana bange. Waliwo obuzibu wano. It is a design nowadays. But the other t-shirt was not made for that design. Bweberanga made like that, eriyo bakola ebintu ngola bagitunganga nenga bagitunga kubeera bweti. So what are we saying? Abadugavu fe abali wano, one of the marks of oburokole is good management. Ebyo bintu byewekwasa mbu things are not working. Genda tunne butunuzi, when you bought that switch, bwali ogikula ku dduuka, which color was it? Ne kati mugikutekuteko ku switchinga on and off mwe bennyini mwe. Kakati yafuuka ya brown. Eriko amadowadowa gy'obeera y'abasirikale. In your house, and some of you are renting houses, mwabapangisa amayumba g'abantu. The other day nagenda okusanga omupangisa nga egundi yamenyeka tanka ya toilet. Nemuga tanka ya toilet emenyeka etya nga bagisiba ku kisenge. Maina ni nakyenoonya neninya yamlinya n'amenya tanka ye. Nemuga naye gwe oli mukazi mukulu. N'olaba tanka ya toilet n'olinnyako mbu olina ky'onoonya. I found a grown-up man mu Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, nga sit toilet ali kuli kungulu asitamye, ali eri waggulu asitamye ku toilet. Ogenda mu nsi z'abazungu amaziba genye, the usage of things. Fe wane wafe, that's why we are struggling with poverty. buli kyokwatako kyonna kyonna okizza emabega emyaka ng'etaano. N'okwata ssente zo n'ogenda n'ogula engatto, omuzungu agula engatto n'agyambala emyaka egi n'agiteeka wali ne bagireeta mu kikadde gwe n'ogirwana ne bosanga abasajja nga beekutte nze njigula nze njitwala naye ng'oli nannyiniyo yagikoowa n'agiteeka wali gwe yo after 2 months n'embwa bwe zijja yadde tulimbwa naffe eyo level 2 months like this. Poor. Njetaga tuwulize gundi. Bishop Dag has a message about the law of deterioration. I want to, one of those days, zonal leaders, I want to start with us. We are going to listen to that message. And when you have leaders who are childish, the Bible says that a time is going to come and I will give you children to lead you. Huh? What do we know about children? When children lead, what do? What do children want? To play. Bagala kulya, kuzanya. Do they build anything? Abana balina ekintu kye balongoosa n'omusanga yatongoseza ekintu kiri awo bwana obuto obwo. Nothing. Buli kye bakwatako ayagala akiyuze, ayagala alabe ebigira bitya, gundi yagize eki, buli kye bakwatako. So some homes are managed by children. That's why they are looking like that. Golowooza nti wawasa mukazi, wawasa mwana. Stop complaining. You know nti wawasa ki? Mwana. Wafumbirwa ki? Mwana. Byebyo pastor anyamba wafumbirwa mwana. I want, at home, me, I'm grown up. But the way my parents are treating me, it's like your body is grown up. Now your brain is for a child. That's why your parents are on your neck. Can you imagine? Nebajja mu room yo. Parents, nga yakuzimbira nyumba, nakugulira kitanda, nagula suka, nagula buli kimu. Najja ne mu room nga nabubya akulaga clean the room. Oli mu senior 5. You can't even clean the room. Ne wansi w'ekitanda tosobola kulongoosayo. You are busy oli mu kulamuza wano ganyi pastor munsabire njagala bufumbo. Which bufumbo bweyagala? Who you want to marry buntu bwafana bwati? I know pastor kati nkuze singa nfunayo muwalo w'okuwasa mwe barashidi mwe betuliko nga nfunayoko tosobola na kunaza sefulia singa nfunayoko omuntu genda ofune house girl boyo yoliko. If you can't be responsible enough, you hire someone. You can't even wash ne socks. Kati gogenda ku level owunyako no. Zino seziwunya nyoze mbanya. Kati ziri mu category. Bulizo yambala toyoza. Obulizo owunyako ezikyasi ziwunya mwaka alungi zoddamu. Boda yo kati zirize wale sejjonga ziwunya bubi zino bwe zibanga zesinga z'okunya obubi kakati. Hello? Yeah. Stocks, pair stocks egula zenemeka. 12 siringi 10 naye tosobola na gula stocks yambala za bituli. Bali wano singa tugira wano. That's why I'm speaking to us. We need to rise up. If we don't grow up in our management, buli kye tukwatako kigenda kukola ki? Kufa. Abazungu bambala stocks nazikuguza nga ate ziringa ng'empya. Banange, may God help us to learn to manage what you have. If you don't take care of what you have, you are always going to be in the same place. You are not going to, actually you are going to go backwards. Now when you manage well what you have a lot of opportunities of going forward. Kubanga ebintu byino birabirira ki? Bulungi. Eri amaduuka agatunda ebintu bi second hand. You can take your phone back. Nobagenda esimu ngikozesa emyaka 3 mbadde njagala kufuna ndala naye ngikomezaawo yino. Bagitunako bagati eno tukuwaamu emitwalo 7. Ne kati gwe yiyo wagigula emitwalo 2 ne bw'ogiwa omuntu omulala n'omuga nti simu eno wandyagadde ogikoza sorry. gyonna ino sibala babandi gundi battery yazimba ndabirwamu teraba eringa nga yayikamu amazzi munda mulimu ebyapa bwe biti oli wakuweereza message omala kugira nnyo kati guwagimanyira amapeesa tomanyi oba lya AC oba ke amapeesa gonna namba zaggwako. Sincerely, kamalize, is there a letter on this microphone? A letter on this microphone? You go and check any other microphone, medical letter. You check. Zonna bazireta ziriko A, B, C, D. Nenkyuzinga B. Nembagamba B is mine. I told those, everyone nembagamba B is my number. Letter. Ezo zobakwata bano bayimba. Zonna bazimalako except mine yekyaliko akantu akagirako aka B. You check all of them. Tewali weriko. It is only mine. Era bwe mbagera I want my microphone. They know. Bagende nange kandekera awo.